Hello and
Oh
welcome
my god.
to the Brigade podcast. I, on this channel right now, am TF Nut, but I go by Matt here in the podcast. We will probably move this podcast to a separate channel eventually, but I'm going to put it here on the TF Nut channel just because it has a bit of a sizable following, at least right now. And then again, maybe we'll just eventually bring it over to a different channel. But for today, I am your host, and I'm joined with three of my other co-hosts, my wonderful, esteemed, good boys here. I'm going to introduce you guys in alphabetical order. Austin,
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'm living.
All right. We got my boy Jake
Yeah.
and Tyler.
Hello.
So, boys, before we start, I'm just going to start with I think what would be good ground rules for the viewers. There's going to be a little bit of cursing, I assume. It's mostly going to be like the S word, F word, don't worry. But if you're, a younger member of the audience, maybe just
Literal
something I have
peasant
to say,
language.
you should probably just keep in mind. We talk about really whatever we want here. Mostly it's probably going to be nerd related stuff, but we'll probably go on side tangents and things that don't make any sense. So get ready for derailing galore. So
I
that's
would never speak of anything nerdy ever.
that's how
What's a nerd?
you.
No.
Been singled
No,
out
you.
here.
That's pretty much it. So that's really the only rules we got. So how first of all, how
What
was
are you
everyone's
going to talk
week?
about? Oh, okay. Living, making do.
Yeah, heard about your current situation. Really sorry about that.
It's
Yeah,
manageable.
Yeah,
the rough divorce.
the rough divorce. Oh my god.
It only gets worse
None of
with
us.
that alimony.
I love wife leaving me jokes. I don't know why. They're just it's because I'm not married. I just think they're so funny.
None of us are married currently.
I
Joke
mean,
will be even
if you
funnier
play your
when it actually
cards
happens.
right.
What does playing cards have to
Yeah,
do with
Austin's
getting
already told everyone that he's going to help me get a conventionally attractive wife.
I love
Thank you very much.
what's the context
Okay.
of that? Like I walked in on that like inside joke one day and I just don't know what's up with that.
Okay. I was trying to say hottest with as many syllables as possible.
That's not better.
What do you mean it's not bad? Okay.
Just
I
watch
think-
Tyler get the hottest wife out of all of us.
Wait, was this where the conventionally attractive
Yeah,
thing came
the
from?
joke was that there was some conversation about how Tyler was like, I'm probably never gonna get married. It's blah blah blah.
No,
Watch Tyler
that
get the
was
hottest-
Jake and Matt.
I
I
don't
had
remember this at all.
no stake in the conversation. I would
That's
never
not
doubt
how
myself.
I remember it. But hey, my memory's not the best anyway. So
This is character sabotage.
So I don't entirely remember that, but it's probably true that I probably said that. Because I suck at 90% of everything.
Yeah.
go on.
It's probably including finding
And the
what Austin
10%
calls
you're good
a
at.
contractually a conventionally attractive wife. I combined it in two words.
Well, I mean, if you're doing a prenup, I guess you could say it's contractually.
And contractually. Hey man, rent a girlfriend, you know?
No.
Oh, yikes.
Well, there we go. We now have our sponsor for today.
Here,
Rent a Girlfriend.
Crunchyroll. We are not sponsored by
Hot
Crunchyroll.
new mobile app.
I wasn't gonna say the name of the
no,
company,
we're
but
going
okay.
the show route. Okay.
AFK Arena. I don't know why. I just
No, you can't say. Ooh, they are not sponsoring us.
All right, time to delete the
God, I
recording.
wish. So actually, since I collect action figures on this channel, yeah, if I haven't told you three boys yet, I do that.
Yes, I'm aware. I've seen your channel.
If you could see my face right now, it'd be just pure utter shock.
Did you guys get anything good this month? Like, it
Okay.
doesn't have to be like action figure related, like collectibles, like hardware, gear wise, merchandise.
Well, another day, another attempt to get a new console that ended up
Oh god,
not working. So
Yeah.
you know,
so bad. console
It's
launches
really
are
bad.
they're just abhorrent.
No, it's never been this bad. I mean, I've never had trouble getting one
In store.
prior to the series.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with
Like,
the current state of things, I think that has a huge role to play.
well, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's never been difficult to get one beforehand, at least from my experience. Like getting the Xbox One, I mean, they were all over the place
I don't
when they
think
first came out. I don't
bots
recall
were
them ever being
that.
sold out.
Sorry, I don't think bots were that rampant back then too.
Oh no, I guarantee you they were. It's just the
No, I mean,
difference
like,
was
No,
they
they definitely
were
weren't.
in-store stocks.
Right.
yeah, I mean, like you could go into like an EB Games or a GameStop and just pick it up then and there, and there'd still be plenty on the shelf. But nowadays, you just go in and you just see the signs that are like,
We're
"It's
only doing
busy. We
online.
don't have them in stores."
Yeah.
And then they've got like 20 models out on the floor that they could be selling.
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm sure things are gonna get better in a few months. Also, they had to like ramp up production, and that whole process of
Again?
hiring people to make the things in factories, if it's not all automated, which I think actually some factories, if not all of them, might be automated, because I heard there was like one factory focused on making PS5s, and it takes like 40 seconds to make one. If
Yeah, I was
that's
just about to
wrong,
say, I read that article a little while ago.
like, that's nuts. And the fact that this is still that bad, because keep in mind, Walmart recently had to shut down like 22 million bots from getting or PS5s on their website.
Better cite your source on that, boy.
I forget
Citation needed.
I forget exactly where I heard it in one of the YouTube videos that I watched, like one of the dudes who talks about gaming news or whatever. There were
You are now
it's like a
required.
lot. I think it was like
Does
Young,
not
yeah.
narrow it down.
You are now required to put a
Just need to-
screenshot of this article in the background of this conversation.
I'm gonna
as
be
we
editing
speak.
the crap out of this video,
Yeah.
this podcast already. So
If you don't, I will
Did
learn
you say that
how
you
to do
heard it
so.
on the Yogs cast? Is
yeah,
that
no,
what you
no,
said?
Young, yeah. The guy's name is Young, yeah.
All right, this episode of the
Young,
podcast
yeah.
sponsored by
Yeah.
the never mind.
So
The yeah,
I'll find. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. If
Yaldabaoth.
that's true, 22 that many bots? I never realized there could be that many bots. That's crazy.
I mean,
They're just computer programs.
Yeah, but
you just tell it to click here, Control V on your keyboard, drop in that credit card info.
I
I
have
do,
no idea if
and
that's
I-
how it works.
I do
but
forget that there is that one group in the UK that just buys all of them, and then they brag on Twitter about getting them. But then lately, most of their orders have been getting canceled, which is really funny.
Well, I'd be careful talking about them, man. At this point, they've made so much they could probably hire a Bitcoin assassin.
I
to come
don't
after you.
want that.
that's a
Please,
reference.
please.
That line alone will immediately
Catch you
tell
on
the
a
audience
subway.
what videos we're
Subway
into.
segue.
It's like that one scene in the extended cut of Batman v Superman.
I didn't watch that.
Elaborate.
I'm waiting for the extended of the Justice League.
There was some character. It was a very minor role where she was going to testify against Lex Luthor, and she was getting on the subway to go testify, and an assassin for him just threw her on the train tracks.
Oh yeah, I remember who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't remember
I've seen it.
the guy who threw her on. That character was KG Beast, but I don't remember who that character getting thrown on there was.
It was the same dude from the opening of it, right?
Yeah. He was in it like
Okay.
a good chunk of the film. Not like a lot, but like sprinkled throughout. You don't realize he's KG Beast until you see like the credits, basically.
There was another movie like that recently where I didn't realize that the actor was the movie until I saw the credits.
I
It
have
might
to me
have
with
been
Tenet.
Wedge Antilles' actor in one of the Star Wars movies, and I didn't realize he was
Boy.
in it until I
Oh,
saw that.
you mean
bit.
like episode 9? Or is it something else?
Oh wait, who was in Tenet?
Oh, Tenet?
It was the guy from what's it called? The vampire movie.
Oh, right. You didn't realize Robert Pattinson was in it?
Yeah, no, I saw it with Heath, and then after the movie, I was like, man, that guy really looked like Robert
Yeah, they didn't really market that movie very well,
Patterson, and he was
and
like, that was Robert Patterson. And I was like, oh,
yeah, they didn't
yeah, that
market that
makes
movie
sense.
well at all, and they didn't talk about who was in
It
it.
was a good movie.
And remember when there were 10 ants that movie? I don't know. I never saw it.
Ah, shut the
Mm,
swear.
this is where someone says that joke about the prequel.
I was about to make the joke, but now you spoiled it.
You mean 9 ant?
No, my.
No.
No, Landlord.
Oh,
The
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you know what? That's a boomer dad joke, but I like that. That gets a seal of
Yeah.
approval from your boy.
or
I mean the
I
third to
don't need your
finish the
approval.
trilogy is going to be really good. Evicted.
yeah.
Evicted. That's like how I say, you know that anime movie Your Name? That's like how I say the sequel's going to be your social security number.
Remember when one of you schmucks, all right? You had no idea
Uh-oh.
that I was such a big fan of The World Ends With You. And one of
that
you
was me.
schmucks put up that dumb E3 like fake announcement list.
Fake leak.
Yeah, fake leak that
Is that like a
on the
double
list
negative?
had a stupid like it had a game called The World Ends With 2. And until I was legitimately hyped because that was such a stupid name, but it was just stupid enough to make sense for that franchise. And then I noticed Chef Boyardee's whatever the heck that
Oh my god. Is that kind of like when I sent like a couple years ago the fake Force Awakens soundtrack name where it was
was.
like
Yes.
Chewbacca's
Oh, it's like
funeral?
40 minutes of like R2D2's suicide or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The worst.
Chewbacca's Jewish funeral.
Yeah.
that's
That's
fucking-
what it is.
Uh,
Yeah,
And
there's
then,
like 40 minutes of just ambient music.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of other things like Harrison Ford like coping with it. It was a name of a title, and then it's
The
like,
worst
wait,
part-
Chewie came back, and then the next name of the title was oh, that's no, he's still
Oh,
dead.
false alarm.
Yeah, false alarm, he's still dead.
Uh,
Yeah.
the worst part of the World Ends With 2 joke was though that they eventually did announce that they finally were doing a sequel to that game, and I was legitimately disappointed that it wasn't called The World Ends With 2. So screw you so much for that, Jake, but
Oh,
also
you're welcome.
top tier comedy.
It's a great joke. I mean, I was hyped for the Chef Boyardee game, but I mean, we can both be disappointed together.
Hey
That's-
man,
that's fair, that's
the
fair.
closest thing you'll
Should we
probably
play the
get
Burger King
is
game?
the KFC dating sim, the visual
Burger King
novel.
game.
For the record,
Yeah.
for
Wait,
all,
yeah,
yeah,
wait, there is a Burger King game, isn't there? Or am
There's
I?
3.
Oh my,
There's
3? There's
No,
3?
I know what
Yeah.
I'm
I thought
streaming
those
next.
were Wendy's.
No, I remember
No,
now.
so,
They're
hold
Burger
on.
King
Oh, wait,
No,
videos.
yes.
Wendy's has a D&D tie-in.
That's right. That's right. Burger King has the
I think there were
racing
3.
game.
There might have been 4.
Is it Wendy's or Arby's that has that Instagram account that they just post like anime references?
It's Arby's. They have like
Oh, that's Arby's.
they make
okay.
like the paper mache like characters.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
done
they
it for
did, like,
so
the
much.
Crescent
This episode
Rose.
of the
They did
podcast
the
sponsored by.
Beowulf.
This
No,
episode of the
No, Arby's
podcast-
is not sponsoring this.
They did one
Okay.
for like I think they did one for like the Witcher medallion.
Oh yeah. I think I follow them, but I haven't seen them post in forever.
It's a really cool idea for marketing. Whereas
Yeah.
Wendy's is just them talking shit to literally everyone.
What was that commercial where they're like the memer, and then it cuts to the dude.
That
eating
was
a sandwich?
Wendy's. Eat spicy goodness like a boss. And I've seen the video where the guy is recording his TV of that commercial. He just screams, "Stop! Fucking stop!" It's pretty good.
Oh, that has the same energy of that. Who's that Pokemon clip where the guy's
Yeah, yeah,
screaming it's Pikachu, and it comes up with Clefairy.
It's Clefairy, and he goes, "Fuck!" Yeah, that's like a classic Vine. Yeah. Did you find it yet, Tyler?
Yeah. I was just waiting for
How
Very
how many are
a
there?
lull in the conversation.
So yeah, it's 3. There's Pocket Bike Racer, which is a racing game. There's Big Bumpin'.
Oh,
Which
That doesn't
is
sound
bumper
real, but
cars.
I imagine it
And then
is.
there's Sneak King,
Oh yeah, Sneak
which
King.
is like Hitman.
Oh
but you
my!
sneak up on people and then give them Wendy's food. Or not
You
Wendy's,
No,
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
you mean like a fucking Assassin's Creed Burger King skin?
Yeah,
No,
Like, oh my god, like an
no,
IOI
straight up Assassin's
interactive.
Creed Burger
Yeah,
King.
no one jumps
that's
in that game,
crazy.
I assume.
That actually
No, they
sounds
jump
fucking hilarious, and I want
because
backwards
it's the king.
compatibility.
You're playing as the king,
Uh,
but you're like in a suit. So and like you get bonus points for a quick time event, but you can also hide in like a trash can. And when the NPC just walks by, you just pop out and give them like a burger or a coffee.
That's
You know,
amazing.
I wish someone
Oh,
would.
jeez.
I remember the last
Into
time someone popped out of a
speedrun
trash can and gave
category.
me a burger.
I don't.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Austin. That's the you don't
Hey,
want
it's
a
a good
burger.
burger.
Oh boy. So like, what was like the
Had a
MSRP?
lot more
Do you know?
mayonnaise than I was expecting, though. I think it
Rated-
was
Rated M.
E10 or T.
I meant
It was
that
E. It was E
MSRP
for
is
all
the
three of them.
MSRP is the
Oh.
It's force
price.
feeding people. But
Oh.
you think it'd be tea?
Oh no, you just so you got it with a kids meal.
Right, that's what I thought. That's kind of like when God, in the early 2000s, McDonald's would like, if you got a kids meal, they had like you could get a VHS that had like
Oh yeah.
it was like the animators from Rugrats doing like a 20-minute episode on a VHS of Ronald McDonald. It was like it was literally a Ronald McDonald show that you had to get from the local McDonald's. It was wild. And the weirdest
Oh.
part, they were kind of lit, not gonna lie. It's like the adventures of Ronald McDonald or something. I'm sure they're archived somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What I remember for some dumb reason is whenever they had that. Well, two things in particular that I remember getting super hyped of as a kid was when they had the line of the bionicle, like the little dudes.
I think I
okay,
know what you're
yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, the Matoran, the little guys, and it was like they were like Lego sets you can only get from there with like specific masks for each character that were typically only available with this set. It was pretty cool, pretty cool.
McDonald's toys used to be fucking lit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
they're
and the
just
other one
like
I remember.
Oh,
Yeah, the other one I remember was the like Sonic toys that were like full-fledged mini games.
yeah, they're
Just
like
on, like,
little on little cartridges or something.
yeah. I remember like taking one of those with me on a plane and just wasting time with it.
Those are so cool. You were gonna say something, Jake?
I don't know if it was the same as in America, but I remember in Canada that, and this was a while ago. I couldn't give you a date on when these happened, but I remember that they were giving out the God, what was it? The Egyptian Mewtwo card. I don't know if it was Egyptian, but I think people called it that. For the Pokemon, one of the Pokemon movies, they were giving them out at McDonald's,
I don't
and then they
remember
were
that.
giving out Neopets.
I think
Um,
they did do that in America. Because
Sounds
if
familiar
for
to me.
people who don't know, Jake's Canadian.
Kenyatta.
out,
A boot.
and other words that have an O and a U. Yep.
So
Sorry.
Literally shaped like .jpg.
what what
Oh,
would you
jeez.
think, if you can remember, would be the best line of McDonald's toys? Because it's either like
Diamond and Pearl.
did they have Diamond and Pearl toys?
Yep, they had the
I think I remember
legendaries and the starters, and if I remember correctly, and I could look it up now, I believe they still go for quite a bit.
That's
Let
crazy.
me check. Some of the McDonald's toys, like I watch a lot of Max Mofo Pokemon, which I mean I shouldn't really even need to say Pokemon because the only channel he really
That's
posts
that's
on
all
now
he
is the
has. Yeah.
Pokemon one. But some of the McDonald's cards and the like sealed McDonald's packs from when they used to give out card packs at a McDonald's, those go for a lot of money. I don't really understand why.
I mean,
But they used to
probably
give out really good stuff there.
because
Yeah.
McDonald's would only have them in print for a little while, and then that's it. There were
Yeah.
like some
Uh,
great ones. Like I barely remember some. The Inspector Gadget movie was
Oh yeah, that one.
horrible, but you could like build an Inspector Gadget, which was like the goofiest thing, but
Yeah.
they were so cool. I would get some repeats, but when I finally built Inspector Gadget, I thought it was the coolest shit ever. And
Anyone else want to talk about the sorry, is anyone else going to mention the Treasure Planet line too?
The Treasure Planet toys were so fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You
Holy
could, like, do
shit.
I never
little,
liked that
like,
movie. I'm gonna
thing.
be honest.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
That movie's sick.
the McDonald's toys though, they were
Yes.
awesome. They
You had
were
the toys,
so
and then each of the
cool.
toys had the
And then
little
you
piece
could
that was
build
meant to
whatever
make
the
the
thing
ball.
was in the movie. That
Yeah, the
thing
little
was
ball thing.
awesome.
I need
Oh,
a.
so it's kind of like those modern like Marvel and DC toys where it comes with like the extra piece.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it all
Like the
forms into,
the
like,
build a
a
figure. I know all
Voltron
about
looking
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't remember what I was going to say. Continue. I'll come back to it.
I don't I mean
Oh,
I'm
I remember now. I
yeah.
remember now. I was going to. I feel like I need to like see Treasure Planet again to like better judge that. Like now that
I
I'm
don't
older.
remember it very well.
Like I remember seeing it a bit, and I have like a vague outline of what happens. But it was like
Yeah.
it was like Atlantis. I saw that I think last year on Disney Plus. This episode of the podcast sponsored by Disney Plus.
Wait,
Anyways,
Bob Iger, Bob
I
Iger.
that
disavow
was a
that.
joke. That was a
I
joke.
disavow that.
That
Edit
was
that
a
out.
joke.
Put like a beep or something over that.
Okay. But anyways, yeah, in that game, that movie, like, it's pretty good. It's not a like funny Disney movie, but it's like a interesting Disney movie. if that makes sense.
It may
Yeah, it's a
not
cool one.
it was creative, I'll give it that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's the word I'm
That's
looking
the
for.
thing with like Treasure Planet and Atlantis and some of the other like lesser appreciated or well lesser mainstream I guess
Yeah.
the early
Like
2000s
Eldorado
animated
or
ones.
something.
Yeah, like they were
Yeah.
they
Was
were
that
creative.
Disney?
That was
was
like that
DreamWorks,
was
wasn't it?
DreamWorks I think. It was
Yeah, that was
Eldorado.
DreamWorks.
Oh,
I know
it's all the same.
it kind of is, yeah. It all has a very similar art style, but I would much rather have it than a lot of the CG movies we get now, honestly. Like Oscar
I'll take
nominated
creative.
Boss Baby.
I
Uh,
refuse to accept that Boss Baby is a real product created by real people.
It also has
what
a
about the
TV show.
I was
It
about
has
to
a
say.
TV
Yeah.
show now, yeah. It's
It
getting a
pops
sequel.
up on my Netflix all the time as I watch.
You know you want
one
to
clip
fucking
of it.
watch it.
I needed to see how bad it was, so I like scrolled over for the preview. It haunts me still.
What about All Hail King Julian?
Oh my god, I remember watching like the first 5 minutes of that show at a friend's house and I was mortified. I had to fucking leave quick.
wanna move it,
Mortified?
Mm. Please don't. Please don't.
Okay,
I'm begging you. I am
alright.
on my knees begging you.
Apparently that show gets rad.
That shit.
I
Does that
don't
show get
understand.
lit? Does it get lit?
That's one way to put it. I don't know. Okay, so I've been watching this channel recently. I'm not gonna plug it because we're not
Okay,
sponsored by
here
them
we
yet.
go.
But like the things that they describe that happens in that show, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. There's like a sentient race of bell people, but they're actually snails, but they're not. And they
Oh my
burrow from the ground to fight the mountain lemurs, and I don't even know anymore.
Is it like fucking Lord of the Rings now? Basically, like
Sort
King
of.
Julian. I just
Not
Sounds
sort
like
of.
Mouse Guard.
Well, this is what I just described is from a basically it's mostly like skits and giggles for most of the show, but then apparently between like the last season and the second to last season, there's a spin-off show that is like the gap between those seasons, and instead of being skits and giggles, it's like an actual its own linear narrative about them going to war with the mountain lemurs and all that stuff. All I know is Mort goes into an alternate dimension and fights Genghis Khan Mort that has his own legion of mini Morts.
who's
the
Mort?
Crabman from what is that?
Yeah, I think that's Treasure Planet. That's
Mort-
what he has. But we're not going to put this
Mort's
picture.
the
little
Mort's
one.
the
cute
little, he's like the wide one.
No,
like the
no,
stretched
Mort's,
out lemur.
That
Mort's
oh,
the
that's
small one.
no Maurice is the Maurice is
Oh,
the
yeah, I'm
one.
mixing
That
them
was
up.
like Cedric the Entertainer. That was
Yeah.
his character.
Mort's
Yeah,
like
Mort's
the
the
little
stupid one.
Yeah,
he's
Mort's
like the
the little
chipmunk
one.
looking one, right?
Yeah, the one that the mouse lemur that they throw to the cast in the first movie. It was like
Alvin from the Chipmunks.
basically has the same like cadence and voice
It
mannerisms
is.
as Lieutenant from Shark
I
Tale.
didn't think the name was actually Mort, but it is Mort, and that thing is fucking terrifying. It's so gross looking. Like holy shit.
What?
Leave Mort alone.
Mort? No, I'm not.
Leave Mort alone. He'll
Mort's-
suck your soul out of your body and then add it to his collection of personas.
God, I don't want that.
Honestly,
I just think it's
he's
funny
the
that
original Grogu.
I just think it's funny that you said the sentence. I heard King Julian gets rad. I think that's gonna be like that's like top tier sentence.
I have no evidence except for what I've been
You've
told.
just heard. That's
Well, what I've been
that.
told.
That is enough.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot in that show that I don't want to see because it just looks,
No,
dumb.
I
but
purposely don't want to
also-
watch that show because it looks fucking mortifying.
But
Don't
it's
say
gonna
Mort,
get
don't
4
say Mort.
seasons.
4 seasons?
It's like 6 or 7, I thought.
Oh my god. I never thought
Uh.
Madagascar was even that special, you know?
I mean, yeah, the second one was the best one in my opinion.
No,
not
it
gonna
was
lie.
no, the second one's great, but I just didn't
Yeah.
think it needed all of that like extra content and like side
Yes.
story, you know?
100% agree. The penguins were better as a like recurring joke.
The penguins were entertaining, but I never saw the side movie.
I never saw that movie
I
either.
like the penguins. They were really fun to use in the video game too. Madagascar.
I never
video
played
game.
the video game.
I remember playing it, but I don't remember. Maybe I did play.
It was pretty
Hmm.
cool.
You're talking about the very first one, right? Because I played that. I just don't remember much from it.
It was like what? Original Xbox or Xbox 360 or something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're talking like PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, that kind of thing.
Wow. I didn't have those exact systems. I had PlayStation 2, but I didn't have many games on the PlayStation. I had
Hmm.
God, what did I have on it? I had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man game. That's all I can remember right now.
That's a good one.
I didn't get to play many games on the PS2 actually.
PlayStation 2 was my first console. I have vague
It
memories.
was my first ever
of-
console too.
Yeah, I have vague memories of my parents driving me to like a Toys R Us late at night, and then Dad comes out with a PS2 and was like, "Here you go, boy," and I'm like, "Oh, cool."
My first
And then it was
big
all downhill from there.
My first big console I got would be Xbox 360 because I had to play Halo Reach
Hmm.
when it came out. And that's when the Slim came out, the one where it didn't have the Red Ring of Death problem, the black one.
One.
That console is so good.
I was happy with my. I think Xbox 360 ended up getting whatever because that was back when they had like the different models and they were different colors and stuff like that. I think it was called the Elite one.
I think. I just
Yeah,
remember
regardless.
all I remember was the white one, which had the red
Mhm.
ring problems.
Yep.
Not all of them, but a good amount. And then the one I got, which was called the Slim. I don't know if that's the same one you're talking about, but it was the black one that
no.
was designed slightly different from the white Xbox. That
Yeah,
was
no, Slim came out later.
yeah.
That was around Reach Day era. I'm talking like from what I vaguely remember, because I remember my purchase order went PlayStation 2 or acquire order, and then whenever I decided to move to the next generation, I got a PS3, and then later I bought an Xbox 360 with my own money. And when I was looking into that at the time, there was the Elite, which was the one that had I think it was like 120 gigabytes on a hard
I
drive.
think I know what you're talking about now.
And then there was a white one that had a smaller hard drive, but like it was still a hard drive. And then there was the cheapest one that didn't even have a hard drive. It was just memory cards.
What the hell?
Yeah. I think it was called the Xbox 360 Arcade or something like that. But yeah. Bottom line is, the digital version of the Series X is not new. Or not a new concept.
So the arcade Xbox 360 was only digital?
It wasn't only digital. It had a disk drive, but there was no internal hard drive. You had to buy memory cards, and the memory cards were only like a couple megabytes. a couple hundred megabytes.
Yeah, but
So
back then the games were not as big. Like I remember the first game.
oh yeah, you could definitely not like install a game onto the hard drive on that console.
Yeah, like the first game I remember getting that was really pushing the internal memory of a Xbox was GTA 5. That was like 4
Hmm.
gigs.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Imagine 4 gigs being like
I know, right? Back
number.
then it was such a crazy concept that it was that big, but then you go into the next
That's like
generation.
1,000 megabytes. Oh my goodness.
Then you go to the next generation, that starts off with 500 gigs.
And now it's like, what are even disks?
Yeah, now it's like a terabyte for the new consoles.
What is RAM disk?
RAM disk.
Yeah, I found a floppy disk at work and it had like 4 megabytes on it. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think
yeah.
the only time I've ever had to use a floppy disk, or the only time I ever remember distinctly using a floppy disk, was I had this old Lego PC game, right? It was like themed around the castles theme at the time, and you could save like map combinations and stuff like it was an open area, and you just kind of put little buildings onto the place and just do whatever you want with it.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've
Yeah.
played it.
Like it was basically just a glorified like modeling simulator, but there were like little gimmicks, like you could press a combination of buttons and then like take control of a character but you can only really like walk it around, and it wasn't programmed that great. So like for example, let's say there's a hill, right?
Right.
You place the character on top of the hill and then you walk towards like off the hill, you just start walking on air. You can't move
That's
laterally.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds like
But it was a lot of fun for, 6-year-old me with nothing better to do.
that walking on air when you shouldn't be. That kind of sounds
Yeah,
like
like
Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh boy, here we go.
But like that Lego game reminds me. Do you remember like? Did you go on Lego's website or like even
Probably.
Cartoon
Continue.
Network's website, Nickelodeon's? They had those Flash games.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
some of those games were some of the greatest games I've ever played. Honestly, they had like a Bionicle RPG that you could play. Yeah, you could play like a little tiny character. Not like tiny,
Yeah.
but that was cool.
MNOG is still hype to me. I don't know, like I think most of it's just like nostalgia stuff, but like that game pretty much single-handedly proved that Bionicle is the greatest anime that should have
It
existed
should
but
have,
didn't.
man. Yeah, I
They
love
had
Bionicle.
everything. They had the art style, they had the action, they had
Try
like
not to
the
sound bitter.
just like goofy over the top premise. They just needed voice acting. That's all they needed. But
Did
at the time, that's hard to do.
Did you guys get Bionicles when you were younger?
Better freaking
Yes.
believe it. I still have a tote of it in my room in
Did
the
you
back
have
corner.
like the first generation?
Yeah.
Oh god, dude.
Oh, have you guys seen that video of the guys hearing like the rattling in the other room in their house, and they like collect Bionicles and Legos and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go to figure out if there's like maybe a raccoon or something in the room, and they turn on the light and they go in there, and it's just filled with Bionicles and Legos, right? Like all
Right.
over the floor.
Yeah.
And there's this big, really big one. Like I guess it was either a custom made Bionicle or just like maybe one of the bigger ones that was made. And they're looking around for this raccoon or something. They don't see anything. They go to leave the room, and as he turns the camera, you can see the head of the Bionicle, the big one, just slowly turn to
No.
regard them. And then they leave the room, and they don't make anything of it until they look back at the footage.
That's crazy.
That has to be
I've
staged.
never heard that. Oh, that probably is, but
if
like
it's staged,
Good production quality.
It's creepy. It's very creepy.
bro, I was
that's good.
such a crybaby back then. I was like 5 or 6 in elementary school. Like all the like 4th graders had like the first generation Bionicles, and I
Yeah.
couldn't play with them because I didn't have any. And so then my mom took me to Walmart the next day, and then we got one. We got the green. I remember it was
You
the
shoulda
green
just-
one, and then they
Yeah,
finally let me
Leela.
play with them. Yeah, it was definitely like
dang.
it was definitely classism when it comes to Bionicles, but I don't care. I finally got the green Bionicle. Well, I wanted like the red one or the white one. I don't remember, but I got the green one. I thought the green one
Okay.
was cool too.
Oh yeah. let's see. I'm trying to remember what my fear was back then, and not go by my current biases. But I think I was the Tahu stan. I
So-
don't the red one,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
did like the white one a lot.
I
So,
liked when the movie came out, and then they
Alpaca.
started making like the other characters. I
The
remember
novels.
I had the villain. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
from the movie, and then I
Oh.
had I had the hero from the movie too.
Yeah.
Those were so
Yeah,
awesome.
Takua. Yeah, did you so did you like look into it enough to realize that Takua was the guy that you play as in the first Matsunui game?
I don't think I played I think I knew about it, but I didn't play the games.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
just watched
Because
the
I thought
movies.
you said that you played one of the Bionicle Flash games.
It was just wait, was it the RPG I was thinking of?
I think so. Well, okay. I'm trying to. Well, okay. If you're talking like actual RPG, you're probably thinking of the 2006 one for the Toa and Ica and all that stuff, which was also good.
I don't remember, man. Actually, it was like you had
Was
to.
it like a point? Was it like a point and click adventure?
It was kind
or
of
like
like that,
actually
yeah. It was like a point and click. I'm pretty sure.
first person perspective or like
No,
top
it
down?
was like side actually. It was either top down or side. I don't remember.
Okay, then it was probably the 2006 one, or maybe the
I
other
don't
one?
think it was 2006. I think it was earlier.
Were you playing as a blue chick?
No, not it. It was
Okay,
like
then I have
don't.
no idea what we're talking about then.
I know
Wait, there were
it's
gendered Bionicles?
yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the blue
The
ones were
blue
chicks,
one
and then
was
there were,
the female. There was only
What?
one.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, the
it-
I
blue
thought they were
ones.
just Bionicles. I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. The blue ones were all chicks, but there were also like girls among the like other
there was another. I think there was
clans, for lack of a
another
better word.
female in the movie because there was like
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah,
the
there,
six
I
main
think,
heroes, and the blue one
yeah,
was the female, and then I think there was like
yeah.
one of the
Ollie.
smaller ones was
No, it wasn't Holly. That was Gala. Gali. That
man.
was the blue
I
one.
say I love Bionicles, but I don't remember some of the fucking names. You know?
I could tell you all the names right now. You want to test me?
Oh
Oh,
boy.
I don't know about that.
But then
Okay.
there's like
I like
when
the
The
ones with the
lizard
lizard
one?
on their heads.
the
The
what?
lizard
Yeah,
one,
they had like
the Rakshi?
Oh yeah,
I had
yeah,
it.
the bad
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah,
like pop them
the
open
staff
and they had a
boys.
little lizard
Yeah,
inside.
Those were so cool.
Yeah.
yeah, I love those.
And then
Some of
it
you guys didn't play Bakugan as kids, and it shows.
Bakugan. No, I didn't. I looked at them, but that was when I was like in sixth grade, and I didn't think they were that cool.
I loved the concept of Bakugan, but I never like actually invested in getting one because Bionicle. So
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, those things are already a money sink. Let's be real. I had no concept of how much money my parents were spending getting me those as a kid.
Oh man, I would beg my mom to go to Toys R Us, and we would get like the next generation of Bionicles because like it after the first generation, it was the same characters, but they like upgraded the technology of the toys, and they looked a little different.
Did a little bit of that, and then they what was it? 2004 happened, and they just completely overhauled the models, and then
They did the villain
2006.
phase.
Yeah.
Remember, they just focused on just the villains or whatever.
Yeah,
They had
well,
like guns.
what it was doing was there were, after a certain point, I think 2006 is what started it, was they would split their toy lines between the like first half of the year and then second half of the year. First half of the year they would like focus on the villains and like the current story arc, and setting up how the current state of whatever island they're focusing on. And then the second half of the season would be like the heroes actually showing up and then kicking all their butts and all that stuff.
Yeah,
fun.
that was interesting to focus on the
Yeah.
villains first and then the heroes, because the villains in the earlier generations of Bionicle were not nearly as rememberable, except for like Makuta or whatever, which was the
I mean, yeah,
main villain.
literally 2001 to 2003, the only villain was Makuta, and then all the like animals that inhabited the Madanui.
And
That's all it was.
then you got to Paraka, I think was the villain line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 2006.
Those ads,
2000
the
yeah.
music in those ads was like the most
way too good.
the most PG rap ever. They would just like talk about like the name of the villains. It was it was they were laying it down in those ads. They were all I would watch
Like,
the ads all the time.
Even before 2006, like those whenever they released a song for that, it was actually kind of hype, honestly.
Because the hero one was All American Rejects.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin,
And yeah, like
you remind me of that man that got the degree in Dark Souls lore, except it's Bionicle.
I
Like
mean,
you're
yeah,
just reading off dates and toy lines and series and
yeah,
seasons. Like, dude,
yeah. No,
it's like
it's hilarious. My memory of like 2001 to 2000 like 9 or 10, I can chart it based on Bionicle. Like, okay, I remember this time because this I remember this part of my life, this event happened in 2003 because this set came out that year.
well, there's and I don't remember. I mean, I guess I should probably introduce it. I have a degree in psychology, which doesn't make
Hmm.
me a psychologist, but I do remember studying some sort of like rising phenomenon that they're discovering, where kids that played Pokemon or watched Yu-Gi-Oh or played Yu-Gi-Oh, or
Hmm.
I guess even in this case would be Bionicle too.
I think I see where this is going.
Um,
Continue.
there's a portion of the brain that is strictly dedicated to storing information about those types of series. I may be saying that a bit, not scientifically, especially when I'm saying a portion of the brain because I don't remember the exact spot. But it's just like, for some reason, it's just sort of encoded in kids, stuff like that. So like you can memorize the names, the generations, the series, I guess for Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, the move sets. It's a
You
bit bizarre.
Yeah, just to get the nerd off, you still like have the entire Gen like 5 or 6 Pokedex committed to memory, don't you?
Well, okay, so everything post 5 gets a little bit shaky.
Okay, so 4 and below, got it.
Yeah, 4 and below, I could pretty much say by heart. Move sets are a little bit shaky, but like I could tell you, what evolves into what, where it can be caught, that type of thing.
Yikes.
But
Meanwhile, like me getting into Pokemon like 2 years ago and it didn't stick. Like I just, you know, I could like, oh, that's a bird, I guess. Oh, that's another bird. Why are there so
what's the
many birds?
Garchomp as you go
Yeah.
into the Cynthia fight?
Oh yeah, this will be easy because I know that's a dragon type.
It takes out your Azumarill or whatever you were using.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is a beast. Yeah,
Anywho,
it's a bit weird how like that stuff gets retained
but
easier
not the
than like
fact like apportionment or whatever. When what I learned in college algebra, I can't remember worth a shit.
yeah,
calculus.
like
Yeah,
I mean, like there's people, and I've had this thing too, like taking history classes. I mean, I love history, but some of the events are hard to remember. But then I could tell you like the entire Star Wars storyline.
it's because we give a shit. You
We
know.
actually care about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much more interesting. Like, I don't care that, the Boston Massacre happened. It doesn't really, it's not that interesting.
Okay.
But
But then,
I see what you mean. But
okay,
then for
let me
some,
be more specific. The one that happened in like the 1700s, not the one that happened in the
right? No, I
2000s.
know what you're. I know what
Let
Okay.
me be
Okay.
more specific
you're.
because I heard an uh-oh.
Yeah, that would have been
So
bad.
I need to be more specific about that.
Like
Um,
if the Battle of
but like the Star
Gettysburg.
Wars stuff is so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Like the Battle of Yavin, like or Coruscant. I mean, you've got so many factors happening. There's space wizards flying around. There's clones of the same dude all over the place.
I do like I did have more fun with like history stuff once I started like for example, when I was playing the Assassin's Creed games, right? Normally I would just kind of
Oh, you're one of those
ignore
fucking kids.
ignore all the historical things and all that stuff, just it doesn't really matter. But then whenever I replayed a lot of the franchise recently, I would actually like take the time to look up about the historical period it was taking place in to like get a sense for, oh, why did they write this character this way? Why does this character mention but then never shows up again? And it's like, oh,
Mm.
okay, I see a lot of like interesting things
If
I
you only
never picked
played
up
it
on.
3 years earlier, you would have probably passed your history class.
I mean, see, it's hilarious, right? Assassin's Creed 3 came out like at the same time that my high school history class was about to go into the American Revolution, right?
Really?
However, like an idiot, I didn't actually start playing Assassin's Creed 3 until long after it had already ended. Hi, Tucker, how's it going?
Hey, doggo.
That's my dog in the background.
It could
He's
have
wanting
been
to
that.
play. That's cute.
You could have been like that kid that when the tour guide gets lost in
Yeah.
what was it, France?
Italy.
And then or
Florence.
Italy.
It was
Florence.
yeah,
And
Italy.
then the kid's like, "Follow me," and he starts taking all these
Back
back
roads and stuff like
roads. They're like, "How did you know?" He's like, "I've played Assassin's Creed."
What I do think is cool is that Ubisoft like made a in model like in engine 1-to-1 scale Notre Dame, I should say. Excuse
Yeah.
me, I said Notre
Oh, and
Dame
they're
like that.
using it
Oh yeah, I
to
They're
knew you
using
repair
meant
it
it
to
from the
rebuild it.
fire.
Yeah, I think that's really
That's
cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
it's honestly like yeah, Unity is probably one of the most slept on games like in general. I know there was a lot of like, oh, the glitches were bad, but
Yeah, well
like
that was like
played.
back
Yeah.
then those single player games, especially Ubisoft, they were kind of getting rushed out by upper management. And then
They're hit and miss,
they
but when
were
they hit
saved by
hard.
the patches that came after.
Yeah, I mean Ubisoft games as a whole are typically like hit or miss, but like
I
Unity,
guess they never miss, huh?
Stop it. Stop it. Well, that like I think Jason Schreier, when I looked this up on Kotaku, like did a report that a lot of the reasons why Ubisoft games feel the same is because they used to be
didn't
all
release them out too much.
ran by one guy. Like
Oh,
this one dude, I forget his name. Uh, he had the power to greenlight your project or not.
Hmm.
Like Chris Avalon, who would work on KOTOR and did a lot with BioWare and I think BioWare, I don't remember, but he definitely worked on New Vegas. He was going to when he was doing something with Ubisoft, he was going to pitch a King Arthur game. It's going to be for this RPG with King Arthur and a progression system and everything. And the guy, the higher up, said no because he didn't like the setting. So like this whole dude now he's been fired because of misconduct. But they just all felt the same because this one guy like oversaw everything, and if something he likes one thing, then it would have to be like that with all the Ubisoft games, which is just such a dangerous precedent
yeah,
for
like it makes sense from a purely economic standpoint, but all like if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah, but at the same
But
time like the
also innovation. Come on,
yeah,
please.
like it eventually becomes broke because you decide not to improve upon it, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's why I praise Unity much because it's like the apex of the formula that had been like set up to
Right.
this point. Like it's just I should clarify. Story kind of garbage. Not gonna lie,
Right, I'm
it's
sure.
very like it's got a really strong start, and then it just becomes the main character simping over the other characters.
Simping, yes.
Let's not
If you
talk
don't
about
believe
something.
me,
But like I don't know, I just never got into Assassin's Creed that much, you know? I tried.
eh, you don't have to.
I'm sure they're fun games, but I just think I played a good amount of Assassin's Creed 3 and I was like, okay, I've played enough.
Yeah,
Of course they
that's
get better over time. They have different
yeah,
mechanics in each one. But then
but
I
yeah,
tried to get to Odyssey and Odyssey was such a slog, I felt. You've been
Yeah,
awful.
Odyssey was just a slog.
yeah. Like
Not my
I'm
favorite.
probably gonna play Origins for the first time within the next year, probably. So I'll be able to get a sense of because I heard Origins was really good. A lot of people recommended it, but but also told me that was like very different kind of thing. Which you know, coming from like Unity and stuff like that, I was like, oh, cool. So they took like because one of the good things about Unity was that the combat was actually not easy, for lack of a better word. So hearing things about that and Origins, I was like, okay, so it could be interesting. And then also seeing Odyssey coming out later on, and basically seemed like it took the wrong lessons from Origins. I'm curious to like see Origins for myself to see where they picked up that mixed message.
I heard because there was like a year break between the previous Assassin's Creed because of that movie, and then the
Yeah.
movie, and then Origins came out, and I heard that apparently there were major improvements with Origins, but I
Oh,
didn't get to play it yet.
we'll see. Yeah, I'll provide my findings once I ever play that.
I expect a 13-page dissertation.
I'll do it.
Oh, please don't.
Did someone say never mind, I'm not gonna go there yet.
Persona. Oh
Persona.
god.
No, I was gonna let that be vague. Darn it! Now you
Yeah,
wrote
you talk about Persona, I will talk
Persona
about Three
5.
Houses.
You
Yes!
mean
Okay,
Person 3
I'll
that
join you
keeps
for that.
autocorrecting every time I try to say like Persona?
I'll join you
Person
for
3.
3 houses. Remember when you
No.
didn't even know Fire Emblem existed, and then I talked you into it?
Yeah,
get
I'm
a
not
Three
going to
Houses?
explain the
Yeah.
reason why I liked the preview for that because I'm trying to hold myself back from that. But there was a certain element of Three Houses that I was very much interested in.
I have the editing
Yeah.
power. I'm just gonna edit so many images of you know who into this.
Where is the power?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyways,
so
again, the 3 people that are watching this will know exactly what our sense of humor is.
If
before,
they understand the reference to
yeah.
begin with. Which
Well,
I
I
doubt.
have the power to edit it in, so
Well,
it's for visual. It'll be
no you.
anyone who's watching it visually, of course. The audio listeners, sorry,
What
but
audio listeners?
you
I
can
don't think
if
there's
some.
going to be anyone that watches this. Let's be completely honest.
Eh,
So before we go, I would like to bring up a topic, if that's okay, and I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
Oh no.
2 reasons.
here we
1,
go.
I've talked
Your
about it
next line
to
is
dead.
Cyberpunk.
Yes, and 2, I kind of gotta pee. So
Hmm.
I
I
would
apologize
like
for
to
the
bitch about
That
Cyberpunk.
tactical piss.
Tactical piss incoming. I like to bitch about Cyberpunk, but when I say all this stuff about it, and I would love for you guys to chime in because I think we all
Mhm.
have a copy, right?
Yes, haven't played it much.
Currently.
Yes.
Usually.
I am gonna try to pitch it to you as if I am trying to convince you to buy the game.
Mm-hmm.
Can you state the current version of the game for context?
Like the updated version.
Yeah, they just updated today, I think.
I have not gotten
What
to.
patch are we at?
They're at 1.1. I have yet to dive super deep. Most of the game I've played is is hotfix 1.06, which
Mm.
does significantly improve some things, but it's still pretty fucking broken. The good things about it are really good, like the narrative, and I think some of these are some of the best characters in video games I played in a long time. I do think that the way they crafted the city itself is really well done because there's like a level of like you can go in a lot of the buildings and they're handcrafted when you go in them. Some of them are a little samey, but most of the time when I went into a building it was very unique. Someone's wrapping up something.
You just described Assassin's Creed Unity
Sorry.
to me.
No, you're
Continue.
good. I was just like, what honestly something I kind of like is that the text message system adds this whole another layer to the character's personality.
So GTA 5.
Yeah, but like there's Takamura in the game who like when he talks he's this very stoic Japanese guard man, like a bodyguard. And then he
Mhm.
will like text you like a haiku or something. I said haiku, a haiku, and you can respond, "What the hell are you talking about?" And
Yeah.
he's just like words of wisdom, my friend. And then there's like I don't want to spoil it, but there's a segment where he will say something and then he'll just send you a selfie. He says, "See, I'm okay," and then you'll just be like, "Lol, glad you're all right." It's pretty funny and wholesome. It happens with a lot of the other characters too. Great audio from the music and like the cars. Oh my god, the cars sound amazing, and the guns sound great too. I honestly don't mind the progression system. I do think some of the perks are pretty useless. And Tyler and we talked about the perks. Some of them are pretty useless. Like,
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Like, it just kind of
It's not that they're
seems like
useless. It's just like
a Deus Ex style game, except instead of
instead of what? Because I haven't played Deus Ex.
oh yeah, it's like so basically like it's like a Deus Ex kind of game, except you don't get to like instead of the the game like loading between missions, you GTA your way to them. Does that make sense?
Right. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like it's quote unquote open world, but the world pretty much just serves to be a distraction between the points of action and the missions that they actually want you to do.
Right. I need to play Deus Ex. I'd actually like to.
Yeah, good one, good one. Yeah,
You were gonna say something, Tyler, about the
about
perks.
the skills.
Yeah, the problem with the perks is that it's all stat boosts. There's nothing like, I mean, I didn't play it for too long, but everything I looked at is just like reload faster, do more damage, hack faster, have more hacks.
It
It
is
wasn't anything that I
Yeah.
it is kind of like that, but within that, it kind of allows more flexibility for the type of build you want to play. So you could like have 5% extra movement speed, and then you could later on add an attribute for 5% like better melee, and then those combined together. So that's a little cool. But then you get a perk that's like you can't be detected underwater, which is like one of the most fucking useless perks I have seen in a game. Because you're barely in the water. You're in the water for one side mission. It's not combat. Makes no sense.
Well, but then if you're being chased by the cops, you just go to up here and then jump into the water.
That doesn't matter. You could just walk down the block and they go away. Like the cop system in this game is horrendous.
It doesn't just literally just spawn them around.
Yeah, they spawn randomly.
Rip.
The loot's alright. I mean, it's just pretty much picking up a gun, and then just sticking with the highest output damage, which isn't the greatest, but like eventually I got to the point where I stuck with the same 3 guns mostly, and they were like I added like different mods to them, and they were actually had elemental damage. So there's good things about it, but oh my god, the technical bugs! It's just It crashed 19 times. I counted every one of them.
I like how Jake's just kind of probably making a sandwich in the background right now.
I do not know how to cook.
Oh.
But I have never had this many crashes on, maybe on the modded versions on console, but definitely not on the base versions of either Skyrim or Fallout 4. It's crazy.
You must not have been using a lot of mods then.
Yeah, modded Skyrim crashes.
It crashes a lot. It does crash a lot, but base Cyberpunk on an Xbox. Keep in mind, I have an Xbox One S, so it's basically a potato. Xbox One S version of Cyberpunk crashed so much.
At one point, I had Skyrim modded so much that Markarth was just like not loadable.
Yeah, I know some of the holds wouldn't be loadable, but like, oh
only
my!
when I try to fast travel. Yeah.
Like when you're out in the Badlands of Cyberpunk or like Pacifica, you're capping like 40 FPS on my Xbox, which is crazy. But then you get to like the middle of this city where you live, and it's just 15 FPS.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Driving sucks. It's either you're in a car and you like go left with the left stick just a little bit, and then you're off course and you're floating, or you have to fucking gun the stick all the way to one direction on a motorcycle, and it still will barely turn. So that the level of inconsistency in driving is pretty horrible.
What else do you want to?
Yeah, I didn't like driving in that game.
Driving is so bad. There's so many cut features you could tell too. You can't even customize your character after the base customization, like what would make sense in the world. You could do that.
Not even like a haircut.
No, you can't. You can't adjust your haircut after customizing.
Huh.
It makes no sense. And I mean, you could add cybernetics, but that's like an entire core gameplay mechanic too.
What I really like about it as far as like cut features is that they had the teaser thing where it's that first mission, and then the guys start shooting at you, and then some of them are like shooting through the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wall is still in the game. Like that wall still exists, and it's fully destructible, and it's actually you can go back into that room and just start shooting at it to see for yourself, and it's detailed in how you can destroy it.
And then nothing else is like that in the game.
Nothing else is like that.
That's because go on.
And that mission incentivizes you to not go guns blazing. So you will only see that effect if you actively ignore the game and just start shooting.
Yeah, well, that entire E3 demo is was fake, and they pretty much built it. They built the engine the same time they were building the game. I learned that. It's fucking horrendous. This game didn't start getting developed till 2016. And people online want to say, you're playing on 7-year-old hardware. That's a bullshit argument. Because they announced it, developed it on this system, and they didn't make it till 2016. You all make it sound like they were developing this, had so
You're
much
saying
trouble.
you as
So,
if you're talking to us.
like, sorry, like people on the internet.
I sit on the council of CD Projekt Red. I'll
You're
have
right.
you know, and I am very offended about your complaints against my company.
I praise be. But I hate talking shit about it because I like the company. I love Witcher 3. I love that game so much. But
Name a game that they made.
name another
you've
game they
played.
made. They've literally only made Witcher games up until now.
Yeah.
But like there's this entire their entire development lifespan of all their games has been nothing but mismanagement of the employees and like the timeline of the games and crunch. They have crunched every project. They have had
Witcher.
No, they even Witcher 3,
Yeah,
they've crunched all of them. Yeah.
Making yeah.
It is a bad joke.
Anywho, on that morbid note.
Oh, the file size. You guys remember that? The 8
They
megabyte.
patched that.
Oh, yeah, but that was still so bad. And now it's just like all this stuff, man.
Oh yeah, where it would delete your game save.
If you did too much.
Like
yeah.
if your file size is too big and like mostly it was because you're crafting. They told you not to collect items to craft, which is a basic core mechanic in the game, which crafting is fucking horrible. You have to hold down a button. You can't just like do it in like Skyrim or Fallout where you pick the number of items you want to make in that slot and then you make them.
I typically don't like crafting in games anyway. I just want to do thing, have thing, do thing.
Yeah, but then also upgrading, you know? I want to upgrade the item too, which is in the crafting section, which is this very much the same thing with the crafting is the problem. It's just is not intuitive.
I don't need I don't like having to find recipes and then get the recipe that I want, only to find out that I need this rare item that I can't get except in one specific area. Blah, 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 blah.
But
That's what I like
yeah,
about
but
crafting.
in
Thank you for doing that.
some games it's
welcome.
kind of it's needed.
I guess. But,
Witcher
yeah.
3, you in the early stage of the werewolf boss fight, like level 5, you cannot beat that boss unless you have the incendiary bombs. And
Guess
you
that would
have to
explain
craft
why
it.
I never got that far in Witcher 3. Like, I just feel like I was perpetually under-leveled when I was trying to play that game.
It's a hard game to start liking, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But once you keep
Once I get to Skellige, I know it'll be the nirvana of gaming, but I never got to Skellige.
Yeah, but it is something I had to try like 4 times to play that game, which does not sound very flattering. But so something finally clicked when I kept playing it. But it just sucks that I learned that the company is kind of a piece of shit. It's mostly higher ups. The managers suck.
Skellige is where it gets good.
Skellige is basically like a pseudo. What's in Game of Thrones? The North. Winterfell.
Talking about Iron Islands?
It's kind of like Iron Islands mixed with Winterfell, and I
Okay.
dig it. Whereas like Novigrad, the city in it's kind of like King's
Yeah.
Landing, but King's Landing is actually what was in Blood and Wine.
I can't wait until I finally get you to play Dragon Age Origins now.
I'll be streaming it. Don't worry.
I will be there. I want to commentate that.
One more.
I want to be there for your reactions.
I'm sure I'm gonna like it a lot. I
I
just don't know if I'm
do.
gonna like the combat system because I haven't played I'm not very familiar with tactical games like that. Hopefully it'll be
It's
fun.
manageable. I replayed it a little bit just to remind myself what it was like. Yeah, you can pause literally anytime. It's less like tactical and more like just okay, you attack this person.
Right.
Okay, now attack this person. Okay, now use this ability on this person. Like it's not complicated.
Yeah.
And you can pause at any time, so you're not like having to micromanage everything instantly.
Right. Well, one more thing I'll say about this fucking video game is that I've been on the middle because I'm so pissed at the company for releasing such a blatantly lied about product. But at the same time, there are some people who like the game, and I think they're allowed to like that. But then you got people online gatekeeping to them, saying go back to your basement or whatever, or some shit, basically guilting them for liking the game. If you like the game, that's fine. I
Sorry,
don't think
guys. I tried to change the conversation, but I couldn't. I failed.
uh
But
about
yes,
what about.
away from Cyberpunk.
Oh no! Well, that's this whole fucking podcast was us just going on side tangents. We talked about McDonald's toys for 40 minutes, dude.
Yeah. What else is there to talk about? Jake, can you think of a better topic? than McDonald's?
thighs.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well,
Couldn't even make it one episode.
hey man,
Disgusting.
No,
tried.
don't hey man anyone.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
just we know what we're gonna talk about the next podcast. Just straight up,
No.
anime
Don't you
thighs.
say it.
You almost survived
Uzaki-chan.
one
We'll
episode.
talk about
People
Uzaki-chan
realize
next one.
That you were a weeb. You failure.
Oh, if I talk about weeb stuff now, this is just the beginning.
Or is it?
Please cut the episode.
Please put me out of my misery.
Mom, please
Start
unplug
over.
the Ethernet cable.
Start over after an hour and 7 minutes. I just checked the timer.
It's been an
It's your
hour and
fault.
7. I thought it was 2 hours. What do you mean?
Well,
Knock
like
them off.
that's because
It's
Austin and I have been bantering back and forth the whole time, leaving you guys in the dry. And I do apologize. I didn't realize I was doing that until now.
Yeah, apologize after the fact. It's okay. I'll
No,
fondle my
I
hopes
do
to
it.
you
I
later.
apologize on the recording right now to make myself look good. Okay.
We're gonna cut recording, and then it's just
Hmm.
gonna be an abusive relationship as always.
Oh no,
Nice.
no.
Tyler, your comments on that?
Hee hee ha ha.
Hee hee.
Things
Well,
being walked
I'm still looking at the Bionicles.
They are
Yeah.
pretty fucking rad, aren't they? Whoever came up with that
okay,
toy line.
no. So, like, I saw the Mask of Light movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I had it on VHS and everything, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick. This is a cool movie." Apparently, that was the first of 4.
They had like 4.
Sort of.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They made movies for like specific arcs, but the others were like hit or miss a lot.
I guess they never miss, huh?
Oh, okay.
Stop it,
No.
Jake. That's the second time. Oh my god.
But the Metro Nuri ones, like, good story, but the movies only show like half of it, and it's just kind of weird because it's like a prequel thing.
Yeah, they kind of
Anyway.
like diverged. Excuse me. Like the third one was its own completely separate thing.
Well, I mean,
I
it
never
was
even watched it.
based on the story, but also it was like just super overly condensed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I-
then
Does it
again,
have
that was
a-
also my least favorite arc, probably the 2005 stuff with the Hordika and all that jazz.
What was it, Tyler?
Is there conversation around them, like the prequels? Like, some people hate the prequels. Some
I
people
don't
hate
think
the
so.
sequels.
No, not really, because it was like
the Bionicle movies weren't that big enough. They were just like. The problem with the Bionicle movies is that they were trying to establish a lore that they want you to think was super deep, but was actually just meant for you to buy toys.
I mean, kind of, yeah, but it was also just like, very fun that it was, like spread out a bunch across multiple mediums, and you had to like piece the story together and stuff like that.
Peace, get it? Because it's Legos.
Yes, exactly. Congratulations, you just figured it out.
Wow,
We
he's
can
gonna fucking
end-
roast me for this bullshit.
We can end the podcast now. Matt has cracked the code of why the Bionicle story is like that. Roll credits.
Wait, when did we start talking about Bionicles?
Again, just like a minute and 20 seconds ago when Tyler brought it back up.
All right. Before we devolve again, should we save that for next time?
The Bionicle lore? We've covered pretty much the whole Bionicle lore this whole podcast.
Boy, we
What are you gonna go
haven't
like book
even
by book?
started.
If you go book by book, I'm putting a bullet in my head.
What would you rather have? Me going
It's neither this, Jake, or Persona.
Look, at least Persona has some kick-ass music. All right, I'll give it that.
They both do.
I don't know.
The commercials.
Last surprise is
commercials.
pretty. It's a pretty big bob.
I'm more of a takeover guy myself. Not gonna lie.
Which one? That's
Anyway.
Persona 3.
I've become so numb.
I can't feel that song goes hard. Numb still goes hard.
All right. Well.
Is
Until
that it?
next time.
Is that it,
Yeah,
boys?
sure.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure? One more round. Because Austin's ready. Tyler, you got anything else?
I'm good. Nothing
Okay.
else here.
Good sir, Jake. Jakus.
No.
Jacus, Bacus, the Lacus.
Okay. Well.
Mm.
Delacus. Sudeikis.
Talk with Doge Lore next time.
Doge
All
Lord.
right. All right, we'll write that down
Yeah,
for
sure.
the next
Y'all
episode.
let me devolve on this fucking horrible video game that I just did, so I'll let you guys devolve next time, whatever you want. Don't worry.
Yeah, you
It'll
say that
happen.
now.
Okay. Well,
Until next time, if there is next time.
I hope
This has
so.
been-
This has been Brigade. I can't even say
Wow.
the fucking name.
Okay.
Just,
Bro, that's
just
the
say it
whole
again and cut that.
session.
Just say it again and cut that. That was
No way.
embarrassing.
No way.
You gotta leave it as is. Take
Everyone
your
has to
come
know
up
how much I
Change the name next
fucked
week
this up.
anyway.
Brigade.
Bot Brigade podcast. Thank you all very much for watching the first episode.
BBP?
Let us know if you want us to talk about anything, which we probably won't listen. We'll just probably talk about whatever we want in the end.
To be real, they won't tell us what to talk about.
Yeah, comments will be disabled on this video.
Yeah.
Oh, who
This
knows?
video has been marked as for kids.
Oh
Mm,
no!
yes.
Falsely
YouTube
marked.
Kids
That's
app
my
only.
literal worst nightmare. I make action figure content. I have to manually mark that's not for kids. When they have yet to automatically mark it for kids, because if they do that and then someone realizes it's not for kids, I get fined like $1,700,000.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
At least
my
we didn't get sent like a cease and desist from Bungie.
that did you?
Maybe next time we can talk about that.
Okay.
Until then.
Until then, thank you guys again for watching the Bot Brigade podcast. I have been Matt. We have had Austin, Jake, and Tyler here on the podcast as well. Thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll be doing some, next month would be? Or maybe every 2 weeks?
Maybe a week?
Maybe
I
a
don't know.
week? I don't know. We may end up running out of stuff to say, but thanks again for
2
watching.
weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks.
If you guys want
This
more
was
episodes,
a one shot, right?
or I don't know if it's gonna be one shot. That's the thing I was gonna end it with. We don't know if we're gonna put this on a separate channel yet.
Whenever we feel like it.
We'll figure it out. So, yeah.
We do be feeling.
Yikes! Please don't end it on that. I'm begging you.
And cut.
I was gonna say anime thighs again, but I tried to think
No.
of something else to say besides that. All right, patted this out until we get to 1 minute 14 seconds. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.